Hi everybody, so this is the third video in my series on working memory. So without a good working memory, they have very little buffer against anxiety's disruptive effects, and often underperform in exams despite over-preparing for them. But the effects of anxiety are not always negative. In adolescence, moderate levels of anxiety can be healthy, and it can motivate a student to perform well on exams to avoid negative feedback. Most of us can recall a time when we were nervous about an exam and spent countless hours studying to ensure we did well. Anxiety motivated us to work harder than we might otherwise. The combination of anxiety and good working memory can result in good grades. As we saw with Nicole at the beginning of this chapter. However, for the student with low working memory, which is what we're trying to improve, the added burden of anxiety can be debilitating because they do not have sufficient working memory resources to manage the invasive, worrisome thoughts. So this, my friends, is the solution to your rumination over the narcissist and over what happened. If you can strengthen your working memory and reduce the cognitive load that you have. So reducing cognitive load would mean not watching YouTube videos, not watching television, not watching things that are morbid, that are negative, and that cause you to ruminate on narcissism. Because if you do that too much after you've understood it and you've actually learned to be a profiler of these people, it doesn't really help to ruminate on them anymore, because you have already understood the game, and now you have to improve your memory, your working memory, and the resources that they took away from you, because they have tried systematically to sabotage your working memory. Because if you have a strong working memory, you would be able to cope with the destruction that they caused. But because you could not escape the house or whatnot, you couldn't escape the situation, the workplace, there was no buffer there for the anxiety that you experienced, and they constantly tried to take away those resources from you. So let's say you were focused on reading, they would grab the book out of your hand, or they would force you to multitask to break up the working memory faculties in your brain. So it's like they smashed that part of your brain, so now you have to restore it through your actions, your day-to-day actions. So you can't afford to watch documentaries on serial killers and disasters and floods and all of this stuff, because all of this will exacerbate the underlying anxiety that you already have. You have to fill up your tank by trying to fix the working memory that they stole. Working memory and anxiety in adulthood. Detrimental effects of anxiety can persist in adulthood. For example, adults with high math anxiety tend to have lower working memory scores and perform worse in their math classes compared to their low anxiety classmates. Adults who are not in college, who have high anxiety levels, also exhibit working memory difficulties, which can affect daily activities. Imagine that it is your first day at a new job in a big building. Using a map you printed out, you find your way to your office without any difficulty. The next day, you feel confident about your navigation skills and leave the map at home. However, when you get to the building, you realize that you have completely forgotten the location of your office. A week later, you still cannot find your office without your map. For the adult with an anxiety disorder, stressful situations like starting a new job are compounded by poor working memory that is not sufficiently equipped to tackle simple tasks like getting to their new office building. So, if you think about it, like, you think about, this has been my experience, you think about things in the grand scheme, or you think about monumental tasks that you have to do. So you think, oh my God, I have to start a new job. But you don't think about the small nuances that you need to do in order to get to that new job. So you don't plan out things in bits and pieces, but you think about the huge task that's ahead of you. And that's how your brain thinks. So it doesn't think, okay, I have to pack my lunch. What do I want to eat? What should I take in the morning in order to be less nervous? What sort of things am I going to do when I get there? What sort of supplies do I need? Do I need a stapler? Like, your brain doesn't think in these small increments that will complete the bigger picture and will make you a more effective employee in your totality. So improving your working memory will actually help you achieve those larger goals that you have in mind. But you're not used to thinking small. If you've been with a narcissist, you're used to seeking out the big threats in the environment. And the part of the retraining is to think in minutia about how you're going to go about your day and what's important and what's on your to-do list. No matter how small and minuscule it may seem to you in the beginning, thinking in terms of the small things that you can do to better your situation will get you further in the long run than thinking about catastrophic possibilities of maybe getting fired or making a good impression on all of your coworkers. You see, so you have to scale back your thinking process and start with the small details, like, what sort of outfit do I look good in? What sort of makeup do I want to put on? And praise yourself as you're doing those small things, because that's the kind of positive feedback and positive self-talk that will ultimately get you going, get your life together after the narcissistic experience. How? Strategies to support working memory. Now, this is the most important thing, because this book was built by people, was written by people that specialize in helping children that have working memory deficits in the classroom, but they can be as applicable to you in your situation right now. So the next video will be dedicated to that, the how.